Yo, what's up, guys? We're back for another week of predictions, and this week it's UFC 227. But first, we're going to go back, talk about UFC Calgary real quick. It was a great event. And, we didn't hit the parlay of the week or the most confident pick. A little bit disappointed in that. Definitely going to try to bounce back this week. But, basically we hit everything else. So it was kind of funny. I think we went 9-4 on the card there. And, kind of had a bounce back night besides those after those two early losses on the most confident pick of the parlay of the week. So hope you guys were able to, still make some money and do your thing on that card. But overall, it was a really fantastic card. The first fight of the night started off with a pretty good fight. It wasn't really supposed to be a good fight, but Devin Powell went in there, took care of business, landed a really nice body kick, put down Alvaro Herrera, and then finished the job, with another body kick. It was really nice. And, good win for Devin Powell. And for Alvaro Herrera, I think he's going to get his walking papers in that one. Devin Powell's going to get to stick around. He's going to get another fight on the in the UFC, so that's good for Devin Powell. Then up next we had Nina Ansaroff. She had a pretty dominant victory over Randa Marcos. Had a little bit of trouble in the first round, got taken down. But after that first round, you saw she really wasn't engaging in the grappling whatsoever. Was really doing a great job of defending all of Randa's takedowns and just dominating the stand-up. And Marcos really didn't show anything on the feet that really worried Nina. And you could see Nina, is a pretty solid striker, man. And she's improving. Showed some good takedown defense in that fight. Beat Randa Marcos, who's a perennial tough out in that division. And I think it's time to give Nina a little bit of a step up. Maybe she could fight someone in that top 5 to 7 range there. And then up next was Dustin Ortiz against Mateus Nicolau, man. And this was the most confident pick. Didn't come through there. But, I still have some faith in my boy Nicolau, man. I really thought he was looking really good in that fight, really sharp. He was kind of dominating Dustin Ortiz, if you ask me, and then just got caught with that head kick, man. He blocked it and just had a lot of power on it. Dustin Ortiz, he's a beast, man. Has a lot of early KOs and a lot of power, and showed a lot of power there in his feet, man, because that guy blocked the kick. Nicolau blocked the kick. He was still able to, hurt him, and then he finished the job on the ground. So props to Dustin Ortiz, stay chopping. And for Nicolau, man, I don't think you're going to see the last of him. I think he is still a pretty sharp, slick striker, a young guy, and he'll be back, man. And up next we had Katlyn Chookagian to fight against Alexis Davis, and Chookagian did a regular thing, strike it from the outside, just really pieced up Alexis Davis. Alexis Davis is very tough. She was walking her down, but didn't really mount much offense whatsoever, and Chookagian got the easy victory there by decision. And I think it's about time you start recognizing Katlyn Chookagian. She's undefeated at 125, and she's a real threat in that division. I don't think she'll be able to beat the likes of, Valentina Shevchenko, but maybe she could beat everyone else, it's very possible. And up next there's John Makdessi against Ross Pearson, and this was a fucking war, man. Great fight. John Makdessi looked great, very slick. He's just really, really nice, man. Very little wasted movement with his striking, landing very clean punches, and Pearson was just eating some shots, man. Really showed a great chin in that fight. And, he was trying to throw with vicious intent as well. He was going for the finish. And if you don't appreciate that fight, man, you don't really like MMA. That was a really fantastic fight. Props to both guys. John Makdessi's got 2 victories in a row now under Team Rufus Sports. So really, brought his career back to life after it looked like, he might be retiring, And for Ross Pearson, he did take the loss there, but it was a pretty valiant performance, man. And I thought he looked pretty good. He was eating some huge shots, showed a great chin. And, he was still trying to throw for the finish, man. He was trying to go for the win. And, I don't think his stock dropped at all there. I think that, that was a great performance by Ross Pearson. But I really do think that it's time that, maybe he would hang him up. Maybe, I don't know, maybe get one more fight, winnable fight and retire. But you don't want to see him take that type of damage. He took a lot of damage in that fight. Definitely getting older, and he has nothing left to prove, man. He's been a warrior for us for a long time. And up next, Jan Kutalaba gets Gansamer and Antigulov, and Antigulov was starting the fight off really well, man. He got the takedown early, was doing everything that he wanted, but he couldn't control Kutalaba on the ground. I was a little bit surprised by that. Kutalaba was able to get up from bottom and really wore out Antigulov, and by the end of that first round, Antigulov was gassed, man. Didn't have anything left, and Jan Kutalaba put it on him and took him out, man. And props to Jan Kutalaba, really young guy. showed that he's improving very quickly, because I think a couple years ago, Antigulov would have got the win there. And, for Antigulov, man, he's got to work on that cardio, man. He's got to get in the gym and work on that cardio, because if he had cardio in that fight, he could have wrestled him the whole fight, in my opinion. I mean, Cutelaba basically won off of, being the stronger, better athlete in that one. And up next we had Islam Makhachev against KJ Johnson, and, pretty dominant victory for Islam Makhachev. He continues to impress, man. First round armbar. Really just took it to KJ Johnson right when it went to the ground, man. I mean, within 30 seconds, the guy was in the mount, took the armbar. It was just domination on the ground. And for KJ Johnson, I think that's his last fight in the UFC, most likely. And hope he had a fun time. He had a good run, and he had that thing where he kind of faked out Dana White with the handshake. That was kind of funny, I guess. So he got that little cameo going, and his 4-fight win streak got snapped. I still don't think he's a bad fighter. I mean, definitely UFC caliber, but, when you say those type of things about your employer, you're liable to get fired. And, as much as I think that he should stay in the company, I really think this could be his last fight. And for Islam Makhachev, he should get a top 10 opponent next, in my opinion. He's running through these guys that are in the top 30, 35s. And, I think they should get a top 10 guy next, and I think that we should see really where he's at, because he looks very, very impressive. And up next, Hakeem Dawodu fought against Austin Arnett, and, Austin Arnett showed that same thing, same timidity, man, where he just did not want to strike, was just hanging on the outside, and just let Hakeem just boss the fight. Hakeem landed some hard leg kicks early, kind of hurt the speed and explosiveness of Austin Arnett, and Austin Arnett looked like he just checked out, man, just became a punching bag for the rest of the fight, and, didn't really show any aggressiveness, didn't go for the finish at all, and, Dawodu was able to systematically break him down, man, and just win a very easily dominant decision. Good win for Dawodu. For Austin Arnett, I think that's definitely his last fight in the UFC. He's taken 3 straight losses. Hasn't really showed anything in his 2 UFC fights. And for Hakeem Dawodu, good bounce-back win after a terrible first UFC fight, and we'll see where he goes from here, man. We'll see if he's able to show that talent that all these guys are talking about back in the day when he was one of the big Canadian prospects. And up next, Jordan Mein, he defeated Alex Morono. Kind of a boring fight. Jordan Mein just dominated with top control, kind of was laying preying on Morono. Morono was just way too aggressive trying to get the finish, just walked himself into takedowns. Pretty terrible performance from Morono. And for Jordan Mein, that's 2 in a row now after his career kind of looked like it was dead in the water with his return after he lost 2 straight there. And, he kind of announced himself again in that fringe top 15 to top 25 place where he was right before he retired. He's kind of back at that same spot where now he's going to get a step-up competition, and we're going to see what happens. But I still don't think Jordan Mein is the same Jordan Mein he used to be, man. He doesn't look like he has that same aggressiveness on the feet. He doesn't look like he has that same killer instinct. And, I don't know, but we're going to have to see. And up next, Alexander Hernandez against Olivier Aubin Mercier. And Hernandez continues to impress, man. He actually beat Mercier in his own game, man. He was able to take him down, able to control him against the cage, really win a clinch-heavy fight. And if you would have told me that's how he would have fought before this fight, I would have said that Mercier would have won the fight, man, because Mercier had the, size advantage, as well as, he has the experience advantage in the grappling, and he's a very good grappler as well, and I'm very surprised to see Alexander Hernandez just dominate him in the grappling like that. Really showed Alexander Hernandez is a legit guy. He's well-rounded, because he still showed that he's very dangerous with his striking. Mercier did want no part of striking at distance with him, and, he continues to impress, man. He was really disappointed with his performance, but if you ask me, really, really a good performance from him. He beat a top 15 guy, 2 wins in the top 15 now, and, move him on up to a top 10 guy now, and let's see what happens, because, looks like a stud to me, man. And up next, Joanna Jędrzejczyk fought Tecia Torres. Joanna was able to, come back and, reclaim her winning ways. She got the pretty dominant victory over Tecia Torres. Torres really was not able to, win any round whatsoever. I mean, she didn't even win many seconds or many minutes of that fight, to be honest with you, but was still, kind of a lackluster fight. Joanna was just doing a lot of clinch control, defending a lot of takedowns, landing shots, and Tecia wanted no part of striking at distance with her. And, when they were at distance, Joanna was landing some nice leg kicks, some nice straight punches, and, looked like her usual self. But I will say, I think she didn't look as aggressive, man. She doesn't have that same, killer vibe, in my opinion. And I think she's definitely, I don't want to say lost a step, but just that wasn't her best performance. I'll just say it like that. And up next, Jose Aldo fought against Jeremy Stephens. And I was really happy about this result, man. I'm a big fan of Jose Aldo. And I really feel like a lot of people, after he had that loss to Conor McGregor, just wanted to shit on the guy, man. And just take away everything that he's done in his career and act like that defines his whole entire legacy. And it's just not true, man. And a lot of people were on Jeremy Stephens. They were picking him to win this fight, to take out Aldo. He was actually a betting underdog going into this fight. And, that was just disrespectful in my opinion, man. Jose Aldo is one of the best to ever do it. Only lost to Holloway and to Conor McGregor, and he reannounced himself, man. That body shot was a thing of beauty. The setup was really incredible, and Aldo is, a great fighter, man. He's one of the best fighters of all time, and I think it's about time people start giving that man his respect. I mean, I really hope that he can come back and get another marquee fight, and we'll see what happens, because I think a lot of people are trying to show Jose Aldo the door a little bit too early, man, and I think that he still has, a few fights left in him, and it's really a dangerous fight for anyone. I mean, no one could say that Jose Aldo is not a dangerous fight, man. I mean, that guy can finish anyone in the world, still very, very fast, still very explosive, still has incredible takedown defense. I mean, good luck trying to take that guy to the ground. And for Jeremy Stephens, he was showing a pretty good performance. He landed a nice uppercut against the cage, good flurry. Looked like he had Aldo in trouble for a minute, but, eventually got hit with that body shot and just went down, man. But Jeremy Stephens is still a guy that I hold in pretty high regard in that division. I think that, he could compete with the top guys. I just don't know if that he could beat the top guys, because he's fought basically everyone in that top five and lost to all of them, so he's in a bit of a tough spot here now, and after he had all that momentum, now he's taking a step back again, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see who he's going to fight next, what he's going to do, and, Jeremy Stephens is still always going to come, and he's going to come to bang and come to give us great fights, so anytime that guy fights, wherever it is, whoever it is, I'm going to be watching, and I think a lot of people think the same way, so don't think his stock dropped very much at all. And for Dustin Poirier against Eddie Alvarez, what a fight, man. I was really into this fight as well. I mean, this whole main card was pretty good card besides the Joanna fight. That was a little bit lackluster, but, this fight delivered for sure, back and forth action. Alvarez almost got caught in a guillotine, then Poirier almost got caught in a guillotine. Was marred again a little bit by some dirty tactics by Eddie Alvarez. I guess he was sticking his finger inside of Dustin Poirier's ear, trying to manipulate his head. He was, he got out of the guillotine attempt by grabbing the fence, and then landed that 12-6 elbow where Mark Goddard finally stood him up, took away the position, and it looked like that kind of, right after they took away the position, really fast after, Poirier was able to take advantage and take out Eddie Alvarez, man. He threw like a 20-punch combo, Tekken combo, just looked like a complete savage out there, man. And Alvarez was not wanting to go down, man. That guy is still a warrior. He was still hanging in the pocket, doing his usual Alvarez thing, swinging bombs back at the guy when he had his opportunities. And, Poirier was able to get that TKO. And, Poirier's fought the who's who, man. He's fought everyone in the 145, 155-pound division. Fought former champions multiple times. Beaten former champions now 2 out of his last 3 fights. And, it's time to give this guy some respect, man. I mean, since he's lost to Conor, I think he's like 7 or 8-1 with the no contest mixed in there. And the one loss to Michael Johnson where he got clipped. And, Michael Johnson could do that to a lot of guys, man. Very fast in the pocket. And, he just got caught in that fight. But other than that, he's finished almost every one of those fights. He's been knocking guys out. And his striking is just looking on another level, man. He's just really looking incredible. And, I really hope he gets that title shot. If he fights against Tony Ferguson, that's an amazing fight as well. Would not be bad about that. And, for Eddie Alvarez, man, I really hope he stays in the UFC. That was his last fight on his contract. But Eddie Alvarez is a guy that's never been in a boring fight. And, if he gets out of the UFC, if he goes to another organization, it'll feel like we're cheated a little bit, cheated out of some great fights, because Eddie Alvarez is one of those guys that's must-see TV, and if he's not fighting the best guys, if he goes to a different organization, starts fighting some lesser competition again, and, that's just not the best path for Eddie, in my opinion. That's just not where I want to see him, man. I want to see him fight the best of the best in the UFC, so really hope they can figure that out, get something negotiated, but huge win for Poirier, and we'll see where that goes for him from here, but now we're going to get into UFC 227, and the first fight of the night is Weili Byrne against Marlon Vera. And Chito Vera, he's a good striker from distance. He throws good leg kicks, or good left kicks to the body, nice head kick, pretty fast with his kicks, throws a nice straight left hand, good jab, uses good footwork. He, has gotten better at that, but he still kind of gets pushed back against the cage at times. His hands are a bit weak, and if his opponents can work into the pocket, they can make him fight off his back foot. He's definitely less effective that way. He could become too passive in fights and not go for it. But he's dangerous when he lets it go. He's dangerous with his left high kick. Hurt Brad Pickett, knocked him down with the left high kick. Throws nice inside calf kicks as well. Nice oblique kicks to the knees. Throws nice knees to the head. Times him really well on takedown attempts. Great cardio. He'll go for it. Like against Pickett, he was down 2-0 and, went hunted for the kill, got the finish. And he's fighting for his daughter. His daughter has a problem where she's not able to smile. He just put up a GoFundMe for her, so that's all the motivation you need right there. He's definitely looking like he's in need of some money to help that, and he's definitely going to be looking to get paid in full here, not only get half his paycheck. So he's going to be coming for the win, but he doesn't have the greatest takedown defense, but it is improving, and he has a great, very tricky guard. Nasty armbar finish against Brian Kelleher, who's another pretty solid guy in that division. He can catch guillotines, very nice Kimuras off takedown attempts. He has a great corner. He's trained at Timo Yama. They give him very good instruction in between rounds. It's one of my favorite camps. And, he has his back against the wall here. He's coming off back-to-back losses. Needs a win to guarantee a spot in the company. And he's going to be coming out guns blazing, in my opinion. And for Weili Byrne, he's a pretty slick grappler, man. I was kind of impressed with his doggedness going for the takedown. Super aggressive. Always looking to drag his opponent to the mat. Great single leg. Doesn't have great top control, but he will scramble as his opponents try to stand up, jump on the back, force submissions. He's pretty decent at disengaging from the clinch, land some cheeky punches. His striking from distance is not very good. He's flat-footed, keeps his hands low. He got dropped by Rolando D, but he does have a decent jab, left body kick, but largely inactive on the feet. He's just looking for takedowns. He's heavy on his lead leg. He can eat a ton of leg kicks. He does have good cardio. He'll continue to cut forward unless you put him away. And Vera's a much better range striker. He has a bigger toolbox. Vera's also extremely dangerous on the ground. I feel he has just as good at jiu-jitsu, if not better, than Weili. And Weili just took a loss to Rolando D, who's one of the worst fighters in the division. Not even sure if he's still in the UFC. And he's taking a sizable step up in competition here. And I don't think he's ready for this level of opposition. And I got Marlon Vera via guillotine in round 2. And, I think Marlon Vera should be a pretty sizable favorite in that fight. And I think I saw the line. I think he was. And, that's a fight that I think he should win. And up next we had Weili Zhang against Danielle Taylor. And unlike the last fight where I went against the Chinese person, I'm going for the Chinese one this time. Weili Zhang really was pretty impressive. She had really good grappling. She looks like a pretty badass fighter coming out of China. A lot of fighters coming out of China recently have really been impressive, and she's a tenacious fighter, man. She finishes fights, good kicks, nice leg kicks, kicks to the body, spinning heel kicks, decent hands, but her striking is second fiddle to her great grappling for sure. She has very good jiu-jitsu. She passes people's guards with ease, likes to control her opponents from side control, great mount lands, hard ground and pound elbows. She's vicious with the ground and pound. She throws to finish the fight. She'll take the back end, a rear naked choke on the ground. I feel she's extremely dangerous. She's good cardio, and she's very good recoverability. She's gotten rocked, gotten back up very quickly, went right back to work. She gets in people's faces from the opening bell. She doesn't really let her opponents breathe. She can get a bit too over-aggressive and run into punches and get hurt. And Danielle Taylor is someone who, you don't want to run into a right hand because she can't knock you out for sure. And Danielle Taylor is someone who has a style to win. Decisions, get points. She's very small for the division, lacks the reach to find the pocket, so she prefers to just circle around the cage, try to time explosive entry and overhand right. She throws only to the head with punches, very little to the body. She's very fast, can get in and out with her punches. She'll throw a leg kick and kick to the body occasionally, but mostly just a boxer. And she showed improvement in her aggression. You know, she actually feinted, was able to get inside, land some shots against Jessica Panay. But she still has a largely inactive striking style, very counter-based, and just looking to get points, time her shots very effectively, not get in danger. And, you know, she has good takedown defense, but she struggled with getting kneed in the tie clinch, and she was taken down by J.J. Aldrich in her previous fight. She does have big power. She can land clean. She has a few knockouts on her record. She has good cardio. She won't deviate from her game plan either, regardless of the crowd is booing, you know, because she doesn't have a great fan-friendly style, but Taylor lacks the aggression to feed a girl like Zhang. I think Zhang's going to be on her, man. She's going to be pushing her back, going for the takedowns, and I think she's going to need to catch her with a clean KO or to win this fight. So I'm going to go with Weili Zhang by second round ground and pound finish here. I think that she's going to be able to get Danielle Taylor to the ground, get him out, and, you know, start landing those elbows, overwhelm Taylor, and either get her to take her back and get the rear naked choke submission, or get that ground and pound finish. So I'm going to go with Weili Zhang by ground and pound in round 2. And up next, Ricardo Ramos is facing against Kung Ho Kang. And, you know, this is a fun fight, man. Both these guys are pretty good athletes. Both these guys are pretty high-level prospects. But Ricardo Ramos appears to be, like, one of these athletes that jumps off the screen. You know, very explosive. He's definitely a better athlete than Kang. Excellent at striking at distance. Good jab. Beautiful leg kicks. He's a good repertoire of kicks as well. Solid side kicks to the body, spinning wheel kicks. He'll throw sunshine kicks, jumping roundhouse kicks. All with vicious intent, man, and they all can land. He has good footwork. He'll switch stances to cut his opponents off instead of chasing. Keeps his hands low at times, but he has great shoulder rolls, head movement to avoid shots. Does a good job slipping and ripping in the pocket. He has a good straight right hand. Good takedown defense as well, especially against the cage. He'll land shots and attack with dangerous submissions. I saw him land some Travis Brown elbows in one of his fights on the regional scene, knock his opponent out. He will attack with chokes as well and kimuras off the takedown attempts. Excellent triangles off his back. He'll attack with slick arm bars. He's amazing at taking the back, and he can also seamlessly move to the mount. Heavy ground and pound. He's the real deal on the mount, man. He's constantly searching for submissions. He'll transition from sub-attempt to sub-attempt. And he just does that until he catches you. And he has good double legs, trip takedowns. But he seemed more content to strike in the UFC in his 2 fights. He's extremely dangerous. You know, he showed that in his last fight with one of the best KOs of the year, a spinning elbow against Ayman Zahabi. And Ayman is also another guy that's a great striker as well. So that was a very good performance there from him. He has dangerous flying knees and overall looks to be, you know, a future championship contender potentially. He's extremely hardworking. He takes his MMA career extremely seriously. In his one loss, you know, he was caught early in a rear naked choke, and after the fight, he was sobbing in the cage. He was clearly extremely upset, and you could just tell how serious he takes his fighting career, how serious that loss was to him, and he hasn't lost since. And he has good cardio. He can go hard for all 3 rounds. Also has a good chin. He's able to eat big shots, stay calm, keep doing his thing. He's only 22 years old. He's been a pro since he's 16, and he looks to be hitting his stride. You know, he needs to avoid being put on his back, and this is his fight to win. He could possibly even win off his back, but I've seen him submitted and control it on the ground in fights, so I think they should try to either be on top or, you know, avoid the grappling. I don't think that he should pull guard, jump for guillotines, do anything stupid, because Kang has a good grappling game as well. And Kung Ho Kang, he returned from a 3-year layoff, and he hit as the most confident play of the week for us with the finish over Guido Canetti. And he's not been very active as late. He's only fought 5 times in the last 5 years. He's a big 135er, long reach, but in this fight, Ramos will be able to match his size fairly well, so that's something to think about. And Kang is well-rounded, athletic with great technique, very smooth striking. He throws nice front kicks to the body, straight punches. He'll throw some spinning heel kicks, fight-ending techniques. He's fast. He keeps you at the end of his combinations. He's actually really good with the striking in his fight against Tanaka early on. And he seems like a buzzsaw early on in fights, man, in his previous fights. But then against Canetti, he started off a little slow. So I think he was a little bit rusty in that fight. But usually he starts off like, you know, a man on fire. And, you know, really can get guys in trouble early, get them, you know, flustered, get them pushed back, and, you know, just have a very good first round. And tends to slow down after that. But he's a well-rounded athletic with great technique. He's very smooth striking. He throws nice front kicks to the body, straight punches. He'll throw, very nice striking. He's primarily a grappler, though. Tremendous timing on his shots and, strength on his body locks. He's good at controlling top position and landing ground and pound. Good at achieving dominant positions on the ground. He'll really, get that mount very easily, very quickly at times. Very good at, even getting the body lock landed straight into mount. Throws hard elbows, fight finishing shots. And he'll attack with submissions like arm bars, mounted triangles. He's big and strong for the division. Also has fairly good cardio, but he does get tired in the third round, even though he keeps that relentless pressure. He's really a pressure fighter. He has good scrambling ability on the ground, great accuracy with his ground and pound, standing in your guard. He'll stand up in your guard, land some nice shots. He looked a little rusty, like I said, in round 1 versus Canetti. He was even rocked. He has been dropped quite a few times in his UFC career. He's been KO'd in the past. But he has good recoverability and the ability to push through bad situations, come out on top. He also had 2 points taken away against Tanaka, or not against Tanaka, against Shitshu, and he was able to come back and get the victory in that fight. And, this is a close fight skill-wise, but I believe Ramos is the more dangerous, athletic guy. And Ramos may have better BJJ as well, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. Kane gets a body lock, right in the mount, takes the back and chokes Ramos out, but I think Ramos is the more likely guy to get the victory here, and I think he'll get the decision win, and I think he's someone to watch out for in that division, and someone that can make some noise in the future. And up next, Jose Torres against Alex Perez, and Alex Perez has been very impressive in his UFC career, while Jose Torres kind of lackluster debut in which he won because Jared Brooks knocked himself out with a slam after he was most likely going to be down 20-18 on the scorecards, but Torres has very fast hands, great jab, straight right hand, nice left hook, good power on his shots, great accuracy with his right hand, very accurate, very tight with it, nice overhand right as well. He'll go body head with his right hand, nice leg kicks, great clinch game. He never rests, he's landing at hard knees and elbows, has amazing forward pressure. He just walks you down, he'll walk through your shots unfazed. Even if he gets hurt, he'll come back, still weather the storm, walk through your shots again. He wears you down by constantly making you fight backwards, staying in your face. He's a solid wrestler, good timing on his double legs, but he has questionable takedown defense himself, but great at scrambling, not accepting being on bottom, and just wearing his guys out by getting back up and, going right back to work. And he has been taken down against bigger guys at 135 pounds, so at 125 pounds, he may be a little bit harder to take down. He is opportunistic with his submission game. He had a nice rear naked choke in his fight against Gleison de Jesus. He doesn't have the greatest defense on the feet. He'll shell up, not move his feet when he's hurt. He doesn't move his head at times. He can get clipped with big shots. Eats a lot of leg kicks. He doesn't check kicks. Usually starts slow. You could argue his last few fights, if they were only 3-rounders, he would probably lose those fights. He doesn't have a great foot speed and a bit slow for 125. And this is a tough matchup for Torres, but he needs to land hard straight punches, walk down Perez, get off first, and just not let Perez get into rhythm, because Perez is a slick striker on the feet with Timo Yama. Uses a lot of feints and angles, catches people on the end of his punches and kicks. Good power on his shots as well, especially for 125. He loves to take his opponents down, get to that front headlock position. He'll look for a variation of different chokes. He'll look for anacondas, darces, guillotines. He has finished 2 of his last 3 wins by anaconda chokes, so that's his go-to specialty. He has good wrestling and is the overall better athlete than Torres, in my opinion, the quicker guy. He'll just need to use his clean boxing, good leg kicks, good, kickboxing to hit and not get hit, and, just finesse Torres. He also should be able to take Torres down and, could possibly submit him, and, pretty confident that Alex Perez is going to get the job done there, but Torres is a winner, man. He's someone that has one of these really big records on an amateur record where I think he was like 30-0 or something, and, as well as being 8-0 as a pro. So he's only known about winning, and eventually he's going to get that L taken, but is it going to be Alex Perez? We're going to have to see, but I'm going to go with Alex Perez by decision in that fight. And up next, Shaman Rice gets Matt Sayles. This is a pretty fun fight, Shaman Rice is more of the typical Brazilian Muay Thai striker, while Matt Sayles is that new breed type of guy that likes to move around, use a lot of footwork. Dominic Cruz, this guy, and he actually is Dominic Cruz's main training partner. And he's a good prospect. He's a very good striker. He's light on his feet. Great in and out movement. Nasty overhand right. Very accurate with it. He'll skip into range with a clean, straight right hand, then slide out of the way of his counters. Has a hands-down style, uses a lot of lateral footwork, head movement defensively. He uses a lot of fakes and feints, especially with his kicks. He'll fake the front kick to the body, throw overhand, or throw the front kick to the body, and feint the overhand. He has very good kicks. Shaman is a long striker, though, and he has power in both hands. And he needs to be careful, man, with his hands-down style. He can't get hit with a big kick or a big punch, and he could go down. I've seen him dropped in one of his fights. He went down like face first, and he was able to come back, get the win there. But if Matt Sayles gets caught clean here, Shane Rice could take him out. And Sayles also has very good wrestling and a good grappling game. And he doesn't really use his wrestling very much in his fights, but if he has to, he will take you down and work from there. And he has pretty good cardio as well. And in his one loss, it was a very questionable decision. I actually thought he won that fight. But for Shane Rice, he's a long striker. He has power in both hands. He's very aggressive. He attacks with reckless abandon sometimes. He'll leave himself open to be countered and knocked out. He has a very open style. Throw wild hooks to the pocket. He'll leave his chin exposed. But if he lands, you'll be in trouble. He has a really nice left body kick. He'll also like to get in the cage, clinch and land brutal knees to the body. He really digs to the body. He has no problem taking shots and give shots. He has great accuracy with his hands. Good body kicks. He's able to keep his hands in the right position off body kicks to defend the counters. He's a great athlete with solid cardio, nice elbows and knees in close. He likes to back you up against that fence, keep you at the end of his range with kicks. He really tries to stay defensively responsible until he gets in a firefight. He'll try to cut off the cage. He'll throw a lot of straight front kicks, round kicks to the body. He has a very fast head kick as well. Nice cutting elbows in the clinch. He likes to keep a deliberate pace. But he will brawl with you. He'll get wild. He'll throw powerful looping shots, but leave himself open to being hit as well. Much better going forward than backwards. And I think Sayles has the footwork and movement to really give Morais some trouble. I think Morais really likes when guys stay in the pocket with him, stand flat-footed. And Sayles is dynamic. I think he's going to be too good of a striker for Morais. I think he's going to be cutting angles. I think he's going to be, just able to be a little bit crisper, a little bit better than Morais. And I'm going to say Matt Sayles takes the decision in that one. And up next we have Irene Aldana against Bethe Correia. And, this is a good fight for Irene Aldana. But Bethe Correia, she's kind of known for being a joke in the MMA world. But she's really not that bad of a fighter, man. She's a dog. She has incredible heart. She's a striker. Good jab. Solid overhand right. She is flat-footed, not the fastest fighter. So quicker fighters could take advantage of that. And that's exactly what Irene is. But she starts slow, and she can get in a rhythm of just throwing one strike at a time. But she's much better when she starts throwing in combination, especially body-head. She'll dig with hooks to the body, then come up to the head. She'll also throw some nice uppercuts, a decent left hook. She has some pop, but not enough power to really hurt you. She has solid leg kicks as well, but does not throw them often. She's good as a counter striker. She'll stand right in front of her opponents, wait for him to throw, then use head movement to slip the punch, come back with the overhand right. She can get a bit wild and off balance at times, when she strikes. She isn't the most athletically gifted fighter. She's pretty strong, though. She can get in the clinch, muscle girls against the cage. Pretty good double legs. She doesn't possess a great top game, but she can slow down the fight, control position from there. Likes to try to steal the round with a late takedown. She has great cardio, gets stronger as the fight goes on, and usually she also would never look for a way out. She'll fight till the end. Definitely is someone that's a warrior. She's 35, though, and you have to wonder when the decline will come. She's coming off a pretty nasty head kick KO loss, and she hasn't fought in over a year. And she had a very bad performance first home. She never really took many risks. Wasn't going first, wasn't going in the pocket. And she's only won one of her last 5 fights. And this is a tough matchup for her. Aldana's a slick boxer who strikes at range, controls distance very well. She's always moving, staying on the outside, attacking with a good jab, solid straight punches, while keeping it at her range. She's not someone who will stand in front of Bethe, give her the fight she wants. She's 5 inches taller than Bethe, and Bethe is going to have to take risks to get inside. She's at her best. Aldana's at her best when she's walking you down with punching combinations. Her straight right hand is very fast and accurate. She sets it up very well off the jab. She has very nice uppercuts as well in the pocket, and she has good head movement. She's pretty tough to hit. She can get hit and get mad, though, and want to go to war. She'll need to avoid getting emotional in this fight. She isn't much of a kicker, but she has good leg kicks, and occasionally will land a body kick. She's very physically strong, good in the clinch with knees and elbows. Great takedown defense. She does a good job digging double underhooks, reversing the takedown, taking top position herself. She has strong elbows on top. She'll attack with submissions as well. She's good in the scrambles, usually lands on top. She has amazing cardio. She has the same pace in round 1 as she does in round 3. She's a finisher. She's finished 7 of her 8 wins. She's been finished twice via TKO though, so that's something to look into. I don't know if it was on the ground. I wasn't able to see those fights. And this is a good matchup for Aldana though. She will need to boss this fight, be the one going forward, walk Betch down, and I think Betch will try to wrestle in my opinion. And when she can't get the takedown, I don't know if she's still hungry enough to take the damage and get inside. And I think Aldana's going to cruise to an easy decision victory in that one. I'm going to go with Aldana via decision. And up next, Ricky Simón against Montel Jackson. And, I see a lot of people very high on Montel Jackson. And I see why. He's one of those guys that has a special feeling about him. He's an elite athlete, great wrestler, great offensive striking, extremely dangerous, good hand speed. His jab, straight right hand are probably his best punches. He has a nice head kick. He can close the distance very quickly with knees. Nasty elbows in the clinch. He has big power. He is a bit flat-footed. He just walks you down, relying on his athleticism to avoid shots. Doesn't really use good footwork. He doesn't move his head. He can get hit clean, but his power and hand speed makes guys scared to commit to their punches, and he hasn't fought anyone who's hit him and made him respect their power. He has very good wrestling. He likes to get in the clinch, go for slams or body locks. He has nasty ground and pound elbows, but his BJJ is a bit questionable. I've seen him get submitted via armbar in 2017, and recently he got caught in a tight armbar on the regional scene. He was able to slam his way out of that one. He has good cardio. He comes in shape. He is taking this fight on short notice. He just fought a month ago in the Contender Series, so should be ready to go. And for Ricky Simón, he had a bit of a controversial win in his first UFC fight. He kind of had a late choke attempt on Rob Divasveli, and it was hard to tell if he was completely out or he was still in it. So they eventually gave him the finish for the submission. I actually thought that was the right call. And Simón is a great athlete, very fast and quick. Mixes his striking and his wrestling together very well. He's a bit flat-footed in the striking realm, but good hand speed and head movement. He has a nice jab, very good overhand right hand. He has a nice straight right hand as well. He'll step in knee that he attacks to the body with. That's very nice. He'll land a really nasty left body shot, left hook combination. He's explosive and has clean punching technique. He throws solid kicks, very nice leg kicks, and he can go to the body as well. Does a great job setting up his double legs, and he'll set him up with strikes. He has a great drive. He can get clean, easy takedowns over his opponents. Really can land some nice slams. His timing is very good. He takes his opponents down without having to face much resistance. He has nice elbows. He'll attack to the body as well on the ground. He passes very well. He'll try to get to dominant position, submit or rain down punishment. He takes the back well. He's a good scrambler. When he's on the back, he seems to not have much, but he does a good job of controlling. He doesn't really go for submissions. And then exploding and scrambling up if you try to change position. He has good cardio. He's gotten 5 rounds before. He also has a solid shin, good toughness. He's been rocked, gotten back up, but he's going to test Montel Jackson here. Montel Jackson is going to get the first guy that's going to get in his face, eat shots to give shots, try to take him down. Jackson fought very low-level competition, and Jackson could look like he could look very good here. He could maybe even come out, get the KO, get the decision. But Simón is the best guy he's ever fought, and Simón has fought very similar speedy, dangerous strikers in the last 2 fights. And his win over Merab was on short notice. He's had a camp for this. He's in shape, and Jackson has it. And I'm going to go with the more experienced fighter. I'm going to go with Ricky Simón here. I think he's going to teach Montel a lesson. I think he's not going to go away after Montel has a good first round. And I'm going to go with Ricky Simón, be a gritty 29-28 decision in that fight. And up next, we have Pedro Munhoz fighting against Brett Johns. And, this is an interesting fight. Brett Johns is a grappler. He's a bit slow on the feet. He's plodding. He'll walk forward. Definitely took a lot of shots by Albert Morales. He was outclassed in his last fight against Aljamain Sterling. But he'll throw some nice leg kicks. He sits down on his punches when he throws. Throws with power. He does a good job setting up his double legs with a punching combo. He'll throw a lot of one kick and done combinations. And he will throw some wild kicks, like spinning heel kicks. But he doesn't set them up very well. And I think he just does that to kind of show some danger on the feet. Maybe close the distance a little easier. His double leg is very strong. He has some solid top control. He has no problem staying your guard, landing short punches and elbows, and keeping good top control. He has good hammer fists on top, strong short elbows. He likes to get the can opener position in the guard, land shots to the head. He is a judo black belt, but he doesn't really use many judo takedowns. And Brett Johns is much more traditional on the feet. He'll keep his guard high, attack with punches, inside leg kicks. Likes to set up the rear uppercut after faking the level change. And very nice straight right hand. Sometimes in space he can look uncomfortable on the feet, shoot from way far out. Against the cage he's very good. You'll go for the takedowns, get him easily if he can get you backed up there. He had a quick finish by calf slicer against Joe Soto, and a really weird finish. He got outclassed by Aljo, showed kind of the ceiling with his athleticism in my opinion. And Pedro Munhoz is a good fighter on the feet. He brings the pressure, leg kicks. There's extremely hard body kicks as well, but if you get him moving backwards, he isn't nearly as effective. He likes to get in boxing range and load with heavy hooks. Stiff jab, good takedown defense. He has his forward pressure makes people want to shoot on him, and that's when he wraps up his guillotine, which he's awesome at. He might have the best guillotine in the UFC. Very opportunistic. He doesn't have great defense. He gets hit with clean shots as he comes in, but has a fantastic chin and cardio, and he just wears guys out. He has good high kicks as well. He doesn't really look to wrestle or grapple much in his fights, but he just makes guys so uncomfortable that they try to grapple with him. Or he hits with a hard shot like he did against Rob Font. Hit him with the hard hook, rocked him. Rob Font went for the takedown, got him that guillotine. And, I think Johns will know not to grapple, but when he feels the pressure on the feet, he'll revert back to what he knows, man. He'll revert back to what he's good at. And I think he's going to try to get Munhoz down at some point. I think he's going to get caught in that guillotine, man. And I think Pedro Munhoz is going to get the job done. And pretty confident in that pick as well. I'm pretty confident in Pedro Munhoz to get the job done in that fight. And up next we have Cub Swanson against Renato Moicano. And another fight that I'm pretty confident in. Renato Moicano looks like a complete beast, man. Great jab, great leg kicks. Very good body lock takedowns. Times him very well at the end of rounds. He's just a winner, man. He's someone that comes with a game plan. He's going to execute that game plan, and he's going to get the job done. He beat a very high-level guy in his last fight against Calvin Kattar. He was up 2-0 against Brian Ortega on his way to a clean, easy decision victory. When he went for an ill-advised takedown, got caught in a guillotine. But he was getting hit with the jab in that fight a lot, busted his nose open. Same thing against Calvin Kattar. So he needs to get a little bit better with his head movement and, get off center line a little bit. But overall, man, this guy's a vicious striker and very good submissions as well. And someone that looks like a problem in this division. He's one of these new breed fighters coming up. And he's one of these guys that I think could take out a lot of the established guys, man. And he's getting a shot here, take out an established guy in Cub Swanson. But, if I'm being honest, I think he could take out guys like Frankie Edgar as well. I really do. I think he's at that level. I think Moicano's has very good cardio. He keeps a high output, very good pace, very good pressure, and just overwhelms guys. And just looks like a very, very, very good fighter. And for Cub Swanson, everyone knows Cub Swanson, man. Dynamic striker, has a lot of fancy kicks, a lot of fancy shots, and very technical as well. Though he could really put it on people, and good wrestling as well. And it's always been his problem with grapplers, but he actually got outclassed on the feet in his last fight against Frankie Edgar. And he's just never been able to put it together against the elite in that division. He has wins over, the guys outside of the top 5, but whenever he gets to that top 5, has to fight those guys that are very elite, usually takes the loss. He has a couple wins that are pretty nice. He has a win over Dustin Poirier, has a win over Jeremy Stevens, but overall, as of late, he hasn't fought the highest level of competition. And when he has fought that level of competition, he's taken the loss, And I just think Moicano is a horrible matchup for Cub Swanson. I think he's going to dominate that fight. And I think the line indicates that. And that's why I think Renato Moicano is going to do, man. I think he's going to be able to finish Cub Swanson with strikes in the 3rd round. I think it's just going to be a systematic beatdown, man. I think he's going to boss the fight. I think Cub's going to get clipped early. I think he's going to get hit early and often, and I think he's going to be on the back foot basically the entire fight. And I'm going to go with Renato Moicano by 3rd round finish. And up next, J.J. Aldrich against Poliana Viana. And this is an awesome fight. I'm really interested in this fight. I know a lot of people are shitting on this fight. I don't think it should be on a main card in a pay-per-view, don't get me wrong, but fun fight. These are two pretty high-level prospects at strawweight. J.J. Aldrich got a dominant decision victory over Daniel Taylor in their last fight, while Multa won via submission in her UFC debut. So this is a big step up in competition for Multa. She hasn't faced anyone even close to Aldrich's level. JJ's an experienced fighter. She's been fighting good talent since she was 18 years old. She's fought girls like Raquel Pennington, Kaylin Curran, Rachel Ostovich, Jamie Moyle, Tatiana Suarez, Juliana Lima. Some of those girls aren't the greatest, but they're all fighting in the UFC. And Aldrich is a striker. He's very composed and a technician. She likes to throw in combination, fast punches. She'll throw a nice straight right hand, finish with a hook. She throws her straight right hand is very fast. She throws it straight down the pipe, no tell. She's fast in the pocket with her head movement. She'll slide just out of the way, and her lead hand is very educated. She'll throw a jab. She'll double, triple up on her jab, turn it into a left hook, which she closes the distance. And, she has a nice spinning back fist in her last fight, too, against Danielle Taylor that she landed. She has great feints. She uses them to set up her straight punches, good power in her punches. And when she puts them together, she can stun and hurt you. She throws nice kicks as well, good front kicks and round kicks to the body. She'll throw some Taekwondo spinning heel kicks. She's a black belt in Taekwondo. She has a good Thai clinch, lands hard knees. She's also a brown belt in Jiu-Jitsu, solid ground and pound, good body lock takedowns. You saw her able to take down Danielle Taylor in her last fight. And she's one of these girls that never gets out of position, never gets off balance, very composed, just extremely technical. And I think that's going to really help her in this fight. And she's also a pressure fighter who likes to cut off the cage, land her combinations. And she's a better, overall, more clean striker than Multa. And fights that Aldrich loses are fights where people can take her down. People that have good takedowns can hold her down. And people that really have good chain wrestling. That's more important. She's decent at the initial takedown defense, but people that can chain together 2-3 attempts, they can get her down to the ground. And she does have a good chin. She will really start to put it together when she finds a range. She'll walk her opponents down, piece them up. She definitely likes to work from range. She won't have the reach advantage in this fight, so that's going to be something a little interesting to look at. She has very good cardio. She stays on her opponents all the way from the opening bell to the final bell. She really put it together in her last fight. She looks phenomenal. And for Polyana Viana, she looks like a solid strawweight contender as well. She came over as a jungle fight champion. She carried that momentum into a UFC win in her first fight. She's been a finisher thus far in her UFC career. Or in her career overall. She has 4 TKOs, 6 submissions in her 10 victories, and now she had another submission in her UFC debut. So she has finished all of her fights. And, it's been against very questionable competition. Even Maya Stevenson, she's never beat anyone with a win, so, that's not the greatest win either. And she's still developing with her stand-up. She's a bit loose, open with her striking. She'll stand too tall. She doesn't move her head, and her chin is straight up in the air. She doesn't throw punches. Throw power in her punches sometimes. She'll throw a lot of arm punches, but she can't throw power. She can't show power and throw her straight punches accurate from time to time. She will throw up a high kick, some leg kicks, but overall she isn't a great kicker or a great striker in my opinion. But she's very tricky with her jiu-jitsu, man. She's a Munhoz world champion. She's dangerous whenever she can get a hold of you. She'll go for standing guillotine. She'll take the back from standing position, go for the rear naked. She'll pull guard. She'll go for jumping triangles. She'll begin to attack with arm bars. She's very slick with her arm bar setup. She gets her legs up extremely fast. She's dangerous, and for a woman that's more rare. She has the ability to finish a fight, and she's finished her last 6 wins in round 1. And if this fight goes to the ground, she has a good chance to submit anyone in the division. She has a nice judo throw in her last fight, but I haven't seen her land many takedowns in her fight. She mostly just capitalizes on her opponents grappling with her. Aldrich will not do that. She's extremely balanced. She never allows herself to get out of position. She won't give Viana the opportunity to jump on her back or pull guard, submit her, be she wanes into the clinch or anything like that. Stevenson was closing the distance for Viana. She was even going for takedowns and just a terrible game plan. And I'm going to actually go with J.J. Aldrich in this fight. She has much more experience versus high-level competition. A clear striking advantage in my opinion. As long as JJ sticks to a game plan, keeping heavy pressure like she usually does, but cutting off the cage, not chasing, while keeping her jab in Viana's face, not giving her opportunities to clinch, I believe Aldrich will win the fight. I believe she'll execute that game plan. She's been training at 303 Training Center with girls like Tisha Torres, Rose Namajunas for years now. And I think she's starting to put it together, man. I think she's starting to look like she's going to take that next jump into the top 15. And I'm going to go with J.J. Aldrich to stop the hype train of Polyana Viana. And up next, you have Thiago Santos against Kevin Holland. And this is an interesting fucking fight, man. I'm really excited for this. Kevin Holland's a showman, talks a ton of shit. He even talks to the fans in his fight. He has a lot of antics. He even does some silly shit in fights. He'll try to tickle someone's feet in a fight that I saw. And he really needs to get away from that in this fight, because Thiago Santos is not someone you want to take your mind off of, not someone you want to play around with, because he'll fucking take you out, man. And Holland has great confidence, composure in there. He just has the ability to stay calm in that fire. You could just see how calm he is in the fight. Extremely long. He has an 82-inch reach, and he uses it fairly well. He has some front kicks to the body, really nice leg kicks. He'll throw some nice head kicks as well. He'll throw some front kicks to the head. Good straight punches, but he can be a bit loose and open with his defense. He can get countered. Doesn't have the best boxing defense. He'll close the distance with the right hand, get in the tie clinch and unload with knees and elbows. Nasty elbows in the clinch. He had a spinning back fist elbow spinning elbow KO in one of his fights I saw. He's a Travis Lutter brown belt. He has solid body locks, good ground and pound. Throw hard punches to in your guard due to his length, and he can land elbows. He's dangerous with submissions. He has a nasty guillotine, good triangles and leg locks. He'll swoop with the omoplatas. He's active off his back, and it's an interesting wrinkle to a long striker. He has good cardio, but he does slow down in some of his fights, but he does have an incredible chin, man. And all of his wins are by finish. He's never been finished by strikes either. And he's only been submitted one time by one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the sport, Rafael Lovato Jr. He has some good wins. He's fought some high-profile guys. Has a nice decision win over Jeff Neal. Had a close decision loss to Curtis Millender, who's 2-0 in the organization. And he's taken this fight on short notice, and he's gassed in the past, so that is a bit of a concern. But he hasn't wanted this UFC opportunity for a long time, and he's jumping right onto a main card pay-per-view slot. So, golden opportunity for him here. And for Thiago Santos, he has 9 TKOs since 2014, and he's won that way in his last 4 wins. His last 8 fights have all not seen the judges' scorecard, so he's definitely been finishing fights of late. And Thiago Santos is a long striker, but he's an athletic beast, man. Very good athlete. His left leg is one of the most dangerous legs in the UFC. Brutal leg kicks to the body, brutal kicks to the head. He finishes people with left body kicks, left high kicks, spinning heel kicks. He's finished people with leg kicks before. He'll throw jumping roundhouse kicks to the head and front kicks to the head as well. He has a great straight punch blitz. He can now strike seamlessly in both stances. He'll walk you down and throw heat, man. He's throwing big power in all his punches. And he's gotten much more technical, less dependent on one-strike combinations. He's starting to put things more together. He has been dropped, by Jack Marshman and some other guys. And he's shown that doesn't have the greatest chin. And he never should have been dropped by those type of guys. He gets too confident and he'll get into the pocket and try to go to war with guys that he should just be finessing, And he's improving. He has solid cardio, improving takedowns, and does a lot of damage on his takedown defense with elbows. When you go for takedowns against the cage especially, he'll try to land those Travis Brown elbows, really put it to you. He did that against Gerald Mearshart. He has a great get-up game, and once he get up, he'll unload with punches. And in his last fight against, who was that? In his fight against Anthony Smith, he was becoming a little bit wild, though, and he really went for the finish early, and he was falling off the throwing kick. He even got mounted because of that. And he was able to reverse position and get in the top position, but his jiu-jitsu is not that great, and that's why this is an interesting fight. I know that this is Holland's debut, and it's against a top 15 guy, but this guy's an excellent chin, and he has a better ground game than Thiago, man. And I think at some point he's going to take him down, and I think he's going to submit Thiago Santos and get a big upset victory in his UFC debut. And because of that, I'm going to go with Kevin Holland by second-round submission in that one. And I think he's going to be able to get the job done. And up next we have Demetrius Johnson against Henry Cejudo, and this is a rematch from a few years back. Demetrius Johnson got that first-round finish, just a dominant victory. Henry Cejudo wasn't ready for that level of competition. He wasn't ready for that clinch game of Demetrius Johnson, and he has shown improvements. He has more of a Taekwondo style striking now. Really good in and out. Very good hands, and apparently he's been knocking out his sparring partners, has some big power. And the last time we heard someone said they were knocking out their sparring partners in practice, Daniel Cormier went in there and knocked out Stipe Miocic in the first round and took the title from him. So, something that I like to hear. But, for Henry Cejudo, I think he's going to need to really try to rock DJ here. DJ has shown, that he can get clipped. He can get hurt with punches. He's gotten hurt against John Dodson. And also he struggled with getting taken down. He got taken down by Tim Elliott. He was almost submitted in that fight. Got taken down by Ian McCall. And Cejudo has a real chance to win this fight, in my opinion. I think the line is off. I think that Cejudo is a live dog in this fight. I think that he's constantly improving. He's an Olympic wrestler. He's looking in phenomenal shape, man. If you go on his Instagram, look at his pictures, he looks in incredible shape. Much better shape than he usually does. And for Demetrius Johnson, man, one of the best of all time, but he's definitely been having a lot of surgery. He's been getting hurt a lot lately, and people weren't sure if he was going to be ready for this fight at this time, so hopefully he's coming in here 100%, but what can you say about Demetrius Johnson besides that the guy's one of the best of all time, man? I mean, in his last fight with Ray Borg, he literally threw the guy in the air and got an arm bar, and one of the most dynamic strikers in UFC history in terms of getting hit, or in terms of hitting and not getting hit. He really is just phenomenal, man. He rarely gets hit in his fights. Makes a lot of his fights look easy, man. I mean, I don't think he's had a tough fight besides Tim Elliott since the first John Dodson fight. I mean, every other fight besides that, he's looked dominant. Really dominated these guys. Really good top game. He's always will go for those takedowns, the double legs, get on top, and very smothery game. He'll go for a lot of submissions. Very nice jiu-jitsu. And, I just can't pick against DJ until I see it happen, man. So I think that he's going to retain the title. I think that he's going to continue his dominant reign. And I think Henry Cejudo, like I said, is a live dog. I think he does have a chance in this fight. But, man, I can't pick against Demetrius Johnson. I can't do it. So I'm going to go with Demetrius Johnson by decision in this fight. But I do think Henry Cejudo will have his moments. I do think he'll win a round. And, yeah, but I'm going to go with Demetrius Johnson in that one. And for TJ Dillashaw versus Cody Garbrandt, the main event, oh man, I've been looking forward to this rematch since it got announced. That first fight was incredible. Cody Garbrandt almost took him out in the first round. TJ Dillashaw was able to recover, come back, and take Cody Garbrandt out in the second round. But there's a lot of things going into that fight, a lot of different things with Cody having that back problem. He was saying he wasn't able to train as well as he should have, and TJ was looking very sharp, man. He went out there in that second round, he made the adjustment, started throwing a lot more kicks, not getting in boxing range with Cody Garbrandt, and that's where he has the advantage, man. He has the advantage at distance, switching stances, throwing kicks, staying on the outside, and Cody Garbrandt has the advantage with that slick boxing, man. He has the power to put anyone's lights out, extremely fast hand speed. I mean, I can definitely see Cody catching TJ in a punching combo and just laying him out, putting him out clean. And TJ has been addressing that, though. He's been training with Vasily Lomachenko, one of the best pound-for-pound boxers of today's time, and really been trying to sharpen up his boxing going into this fight. I think that's a great thing to do because Cody Garbrandt, like I said, has some of the best boxing in the division, the best power, great slips, great feints in the pocket. He'll come back with shots, and I really think TJ should not try to be in the pocket with this guy and throw hands, man. He should try to stay on the outside, use his footwork, use his feints, use his, his double leg takedowns, change the distance. Never give Cody Garbrandt the same look. Don't let him get in a rhythm. And just try to make this a very tactical fight from the outside where you're coming in trying to lay takedowns. And for Cody Garbrandt, he's going to need to make this a war, man. He's going to need to get inside. Let those hands go, needs to hurt TJ, needs to, really push the action here, because I think TJ's the one that could hang on the outside and win the decision. And, if you look historically, man, all these guys that were former champions that lost their belt, and then came back, had the immediate rematch, they don't have that much success. You look at Jose Aldo most recently against Max Holloway. 2 cracks at the guy, lost his title to Holloway, lost the rematch. You see guys like, for instance, Frankie Edgar. He fought Jose Aldo once for the title, lost. fought him again for the title, lost again. BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar. Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman. Usually when these champions lose the belt and they get that immediate rematch to fight against, the same guy that just finished them or the same guy that just took him out, they usually don't fare very well, man. They usually lose, and you have to take that into account. It's a mind game in there. It's definitely, a lot about mental stability in this fight game. And if you're not in there with the mindset that you're going to be able to win, if you have a little bit of doubt in your head because you just got knocked out, a year ago, then that plays against you. And because of that, I'm going to go with TJ Dillashaw to retain his title. I'm going to say he wins via third round TKO, and that's an extremely close fight, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Cody got the finish either. But, like I said, there's something to say about history, about precedent, and usually if a fighter loses his title to a guy and they have the immediate rematch, it doesn't go well for him. So, because of that, I'm going to go with TJ Dillashaw. And, for the parlay of the week, I'd say to go with... I would say Weili Zhang and Pedro Munhoz would be a good parlay, as well as you could substitute Irina Aldana for Zhang as well, whichever you would like. This card is pretty tough, man. It's hard to find some good combinations for parlays, but I do think that Ricardo Ramos is a guy that's most likely to win, but there is an avenue for Kane to get the job done there. I think Marlon Vera should win, but he's a very sizable favorite. Alex Perez, I think that he should get the job done. I think that he's just the better athlete than Torres, but Torres is a winner, man, and that's an interesting fight. Ricky Simón as the underdog, or I don't know if he's the underdog, but I think that he has a very solid chance of winning as well. And like I said, man, JJ Aldrich and Kevin Holland, those are two upset picks that I'm giving you right there, and I think that they have a very good chance to get the victory as well. Moicano has a very good chance to get the victory, but he's a sizable favorite. I could put those guys in a parlay of the week for you, but don't really like giving you those type of, big favorites. So that's why I'm going to go with the parlay that I gave you. But, play your own plays that you like as well. And write down in the comments what you guys are going to play, what bets you're going to be putting down, who you're picking. Let's create a conversation in there. And make sure to subscribe. I'm going to start to... potentially do a video portion of this podcast. Tell me what you guys would think about that. If I got a camera, got a decent setup, and started to maybe make some animations in the background, beef up the video portion of this, show. Tell me what you guys think. You think that would be a good idea? Would you guys like to see that? Do you guys like the current format? Let me know what you guys think. And I'm also going to be trying to put this show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and all that. So make sure to check me out over there. Subscribe. Give a rating, whatever you have to do over there to support the show, man. I really enjoy connecting with you guys, talking to you guys every week, and hopefully we can bounce back, have a good week again this week, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Dana White Contender Series. I think that there's some pretty good opportunities on that as well this week. So hope you guys enjoyed this show, and have a great day, and hopefully we get some good wins on Saturday.